Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Thank you for joining me here for the Taz Effect. Daily news in a way you did not know you could use. And it's Friday, so y'all know what that means. We're going to discuss all the news that you can find from around the internet, from all over social media, because we need a break. Somewhat so, that type of thing. And baby, we got some doozies today. We got some things to talk about. Because the internet is definitely giving us something to talk about. Let's start off with an update on our favorite Mario Kart brother, Mr. Luigi Mangione.
The two state charges against Luigi Mangione have just been dismissed in New York. A judge threw out the state terrorism counts, ruling the evidence as legally insufficient. That is a huge shift, but it doesn't mean that he's walking free. Mangione is still facing second-degree murder charges in New York for the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson back in December 2024. And those charges carry the possibility of the death penalty. Now, his lawyers tried to argue double jeopardy, saying he can't be tried twice for the same acts in both state and federal court. But the judge said it's too early for that, since the federal case hasn't even gone to trial yet, and the charges aren't exactly the same. There's also still a fight over what exact evidence can be used, such as the 9mm handgun and a notebook found at his arrest. Prosecutors also want to know if the defense is going to claim insanity or use a psychiatric defense. So what does this mean? What happens now? Well, the terrorism charges are gone, but the murder charges are still standing. That's what he went to trial for. As for the federal case with the harshest penalties, it is still moving forward. This case is far from over, but today's ruling did set the stage for the next battle. I will keep you guys updated.
If things keep going the way that they're going regarding the Luigi Mangione case, the state nor the Fed, they're not going to have a case. And the way that the DOJ, the way that the feds are moving and maneuvering, it's likely they're going to accidentally, on purpose, on accident, fire the people who could presumably lock down a conviction. But from one court case to another, judge found guilty of felony obstruction in helping undocumented man evade arrest. Before you lay judgment, as always, let's get into it. A Wisconsin judge accused of concealing an undocumented man to prevent his arrest by immigration authorities was found guilty of felony obstruction, according to ABC Milwaukee affiliate WISN, which was in the courtroom for the trial. Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan was charged in a 2-count federal indictment that alleges she obstructed official Department of Homeland Security removal proceedings and knowingly concealed the man from immigration authorities at a courthouse in April. Dugan was found guilty of obstructing federal agents and not guilty of concealing an undocumented immigrant from arrest during the courthouse incident. The jury reached the mixed verdict after deliberating for approximately 6 hours on Thursday, according to WISN. Dugan, who pleaded not guilty, faces a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison. The judge has not yet set a sentencing date. One of Dugan's attorneys, Steve Biskupik, said they were obviously disappointed in the outcome. The mixed verdict is the big thing from the defense perspective, he told reporters Thursday night. This is one of those times where, as a judge, as an attorney, you should not have opted for a jury trial. And let me explain why I say this. The average layperson does not understand the nuance, the context, the intricacies, the torts of it all, of the legal system. And there are far too many people who don't understand the immigration process, that are on board with what ICE is doing because of that level of ignorance. Oh, yeah. Hey, Nightbird. Hey, April. According to federal prosecutors, Dugan encountered federal agents who were at the Milwaukee County Circuit Court on April 18th to arrest Eduardo Flores Cruz, who was appearing in her courtroom on a battery charge. Prosecutors say that after speaking to the agents, Dugan directed them to the chief judge's office down the hall and then sent Flores Ruiz and his attorney out a non-public door in an alleged attempt to help him evade arrest on immigration violations. She did what was right. She did what was right. He was there for a hearing. There was no conviction. The trial had not taken place. And we know from the brief history of the current iteration of ICE under this administration, this man was going to be abducted, and it would probably be months, if not years, before we knew anything else about him. Let us not forget about the saga of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Let us not forget about the men who are still being held in El Salvador. Let us not forget that the only reason that some women we know about is because El Salvador would not take them. Now, if you recall, there is one story that we have been following out of Hamilton County, more specifically Cincinnati, Ohio, and that's regarding the Cincinnati ICE agent. Well, we have an update from WVXU.org. Cincinnati ICE agent charged with strangulation now faces federal charge. It's about time. What were y'all dragging you? You know what? Never mind. We know why they were dragging feet. An agent with Immigration and Customs Enforcement based in Cincinnati now faces a federal charge in relation to an alleged domestic violence incident earlier this month. A December 17th filing with the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Ohio reveals Samuel Saxon has been indicted by a grand jury on one count of lying to a federal law enforcement officer. He was transferred to the Butler County jail. Why is he in Kentucky? No, there's a Butler County, Ohio. My apologies. Jail, where he is being held on a federal detainer until he has a detention hearing at the Potter Stewart U.S. Courthouse in downtown Cincinnati, December 22nd. Why isn't he held at the Justice Center within walking distance of the courthouse? Walk him through the street to court every day, or walk him through them tunnels that y'all got. Saxon was arraigned December 12th on strangulation, domestic violence, and felonious assault charges in Hamilton County Court after he allegedly put his domestic partner in a chokehold in the hallway of their Coralville apartment building the afternoon of December 5th. Saxon was arrested at the Cincinnati Hotel at 1 a.m. on the morning of December 6th. So you left the residence as well, and you lied to people. But here's the thing. There are some people online that are like, oh, we should just drop this. We shouldn't care because the alleged victim isn't wanting to press charges. She's saying it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I don't think y'all understand the trauma that is involved with abuse. Okay? And also when the abuser is a member of law enforcement. Not only are you terrified of increased abuse from this person, but you're terrified of retaliation from their coworkers, their friends, their families. And I need y'all to remember that they have been in 3 different states at this point. This man has isolated this woman from everyone she knows, and it's clear from the age difference and how long they've been dating. This young lady was groomed. This is all she knows. She doesn't have a comparison. And this is what they want when they're grooming young ladies, when they're saying, oh, women shouldn't sleep around, but because they don't want you to be able to compare anything. This is why they're like, oh, well, you need to delete, or you don't need to have this social media, because they don't want you to be able to talk to people in healthy relationships. And before somebody says that I'm reaching, I've lived this. I've lived this on both sides of the spectrum. There was a gentleman, for a while, we did business together. Okay. Now, he did try to, reputation wise, throw me under the bus, but outside of some people who just pretended publicly to rock with him, he didn't do anything to my reputation, because it was clear that he thought he was getting over on people and he wasn't. But he was pissed off that my personality was rubbing off on his wife. She went back to school. She realized that she was the breadwinner in the family even before she went back to school. And she started to talk back and give pushback, and realized that there were things in their relationship that were not healthy, that she was going along to get along because she thought that this is how things went. And before you go, well, didn't she have parents? First of all, even if you're living with a couple, you're still window shopping for the most part, their relationship, any relationship. But her parents were a part of that generation, and that they were Euro-Americans that hid every bad part of their relationship from everyone, even their children. So the only thing she knew was that you stick with it. Once you get married, you stick with it, you stick with it, you stick with it, because the pride was in being able to say, oh, we've been together for 30 years of misery. Because if you notice, the people who always want to tell you how long they've been married never tell you that they've been happily married. They quick to tell you how long they've been married. And then say, well, we gatekeep a good relationship. Why? Because you out here criticizing everybody else's relationship like you done unlocked the code. There's no gatekeeping a good relationship. You want to know the keys to a good relationship? Figuring out what works for you and the person that you're choosing to be with. That's it. That's all. People out here, well, the happily married don't get on here and talk about blah, 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 blah. They're not the happily married. Because the happily married will tell you all of these gimmicks, all this BS. It ain't where it is. Whether they're happily married, happily committed, happily eternally dating. Because I have an aunt and uncle that were previously married, and being married didn't work for them. Maybe it was a title. Maybe it was a legal commitment. I don't know. But they have been happily committed to each other for quite a while now. They're wonderful with it. There are people that I know that have just had commitment ceremonies between the two of you, and they're happy. There are people who have gotten married that are happy, and they will all tell you the same thing. Figure out what works best for the two of you. Figure out your style of communication that works best for the two of you. That's it. That's the key. All of this, well, we're gatekeeping. You're gatekeeping bullshit. You're gatekeeping the fact that y'all don't really like each other. But the only thing that you have going for you in life is that y'all been together for fun. And you're afraid to go out and intertwine with anybody else because you don't really know how. You just know how to ignore that mofo that's in the next room. That's all you know how to do. Y'all don't like each other. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at your reflection. You're right, April. She doesn't trust anyone at this point. This is someone, like I said, state after state, city after city. She's gone to the hospital. This is somebody who had to have surgery. He broke her nose so bad. Ribs, like she's had to have surgery due to the abuse. And nothing's happened. Nothing's happened. Everything has escalated. And we've seen the relatives, the co-workers. We've seen this scenario 1,000,001 times. Where they're like, they're not a bad person. They're not that. Let's get personal for a second. I'll use myself as an example. There was one time that I was so backed up against the wall that I publicly put out what was happening to me. The few people who were in support of me, and yes, I'm using air quotes for this, were private. I found out years later that they were like, did you, like, whispering people like, that could be true. Like, maybe you should consider it, but nobody was willing to come and help. You want to know what people did come out and say? No, that couldn't have happened because that person doesn't treat me that way. Grown ass men saying this. Other people, oh no, that couldn't happen because of their occupation. Oh no, that couldn't happen because, they volunteer in the community. No, that couldn't happen because, they attend this church. These are the same people who I recently found out were whispering rumors behind my back, acting as if I was trying to woo and entice this person for years. This person that I found out that I did not know that they existed, but they knew of my existence since I was 15 years old. And lied about their age on top of everything else. So before you're out here criticizing victims, victimizers are very crafty. Victimizers choose their victims for a reason. Victimizers present themselves to the public in a certain way on purpose for a reason. When I tell y'all my spidey senses start tingling when I see heavily curated couples content, it's for a reason. It is for a reason. Because somebody in that relationship is selling you that narrative so that in the future, whether the near or the distant future, you will ride with them. You will rock with them when the truth comes out. Now, I'm a firm believer in you ain't got to tell nobody all your business. You don't have to have people all up in your business, but there's no reason to lie about your business. And what do I mean by that? Some of y'all get out here and preemptively tell stuff that you don't have to tell. And then you end up lying to cover for it. You don't have to tell nobody, but don't lie about it. Don't sit out here and act like, oh, I never argue with my significant other. Which one of y'all is afraid of the other? Either somebody is afraid that the abuse is going to be made public, or somebody is afraid that the other person is going to leave if there's any type of discourse. Or option 3, somebody's afraid that they're going to have to do the work to change because they're not really a likable person. Because there is no way everybody is getting along perfectly every single day. Hell, if you have siblings, you know that's impossible. That is impossible. Like, that's what we're not going to do. I cannot stand when people do that. Oh, I never did that. We never did that. And I'm going to throw something out here. Y'all might want to come out in the bag on me. I don't care. Okay? Because most of the country can't see straight and you can't aim well. Okay? I done seen too many of y'all bathrooms. Clean them up before you take pictures in there. Okay? How can I put this? Some of y'all are trying too hard to prove that your partner is into you when we all see that you're the one terrified of losing them. It's not giving what you think it's giving. It's not. It is not. It most definitely is not. Also, when you're out here trying to compete with other people, you're showing how empty your life is. And here's a kicker. Look in the mirror. Okay, as I say this to you, I want you to take it into your spirit. Just because somebody else is getting something that you didn't have or you did not know existed until they brought it up is not an opportunity. It's not a chance for you to bitch and complain and tell them that they can't have it because you didn't. And there's no such thing as somebody just being pregnant. Women do it every day, and women die every day because of it. There are women right now being forced to be mother and father to children that they live in the house with their spouse, male, female, male presenting, non-binary, female presenting, non-binary, whatever. That in the midst of giving birth, they were in labor for double digits of hours or for days, had strokes, suffered aneurysms, and are now forced to deal with it. So when you're sitting there going, well, I didn't get a push present, you shouldn't either. Go fuck yourself. You trying to take away from somebody else does not make you morally superior. Does not mean that that man is going to treat you better. Does not mean that your crush is going to turn around and go, she is the hottest thing going, let me go. Because all of these red pill incel motherfuckers that sit here and sell you this, well, I need a woman that's going to go 50-50 with me. I need a what? They're lying to you. They just don't like you, let alone love you. But when they find the right one, all the stuff that they say that they're not going to do, they're going to do. And men, all the stuff that a lot of women claim they're not going to do, if you're the one, they will do it. They will do it. When people are sitting here telling you what they're not going to do, they're saying what they're not going to do for the general public. Let's be fucking real. Because what you are going to do in a relationship, you generally, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to say publicly. When people are sitting there talking about what they do in relationships publicly, that means that they're not doing it. They're just trying to be picked. And don't say, well, Taz, I know a couple, they sit there together and say it because they don't want to be picked by each other. They're trying to be picked by those over there. Hey, Amy. Happy Friday. So you said, I don't need this and I don't require that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, because you're the same goofy heifers that will have the stank face when you see somebody like me walk in and I don't touch a door. When you see somebody like me get help to stand up, or I'm not carrying a bunch of bags, or I'm treated like a lady. Yes, I can be my partner's friend. We can be each other's besties. But at the end of the day, I want to be treated like a lady. I don't want to be treated like one of the boys. And it's okay to say that. I cannot tell you how many times I've had women go, oh, you shouldn't say that. You'll never get anybody to date you. I have sat on my couch and ended up in a relationship. Hello. How we're here today. But I'm upfront honest. I tell them, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do this. I don't like doing this. Don't expect me to do X, Y, and Z. And it actually opens up the conversation. The other person's like, you know what? Whew, I'm glad you said that, because sister girl, sister cat, I'm not doing this. I'm not about this. Oh, okay. And then things evolve as you go on. You sitting there going, I'm not high maintenance like that. Baby, yes, you are. Whether you take care of your maintenance or you want somebody else to subsidize your maintenance or you want somebody to pick up the maintenance payments, you have maintenance. And it's okay. He, she, they might be high maintenance too, and y'all can be high maintenance together. But you know, I saw several women crashing out in a pregnant woman's comment section because her husband chose to buy her a push present and gave her the push present before she pushed. She has not gone into labor yet that we know of. Okay. It's no different than somebody announces that they're engaged. And folks are in the comment section talking about their engagement story, showing their engagement pictures, their photo shoot, their engagement rings. Is you cool, bitch? Because let me explain something to you. Do that in one of my comment sections. Your feelings are going to be below hell hurt. Because I'm going to pick you up and remind you where your place is. It is okay to celebrate one another. Do you know that I know on my birthday, I'm not the only person born on that day? Absolutely not. Hell, I have two good friends that we share the same birthday. One, well, there was three, but she has gone on to the Lord. You know what I don't do when people are wishing them a happy birthday? Go, oh, it's my birthday too. No, I just join in happy birthday. I hope you have the best one. Someone gets engaged. Someone is announced. Congratulations. If I add anything more, it may be contingent on our relationship. Like, how can I help? You want me to come through with this? You want me to bring this to help you celebrate? You want to use the backyard for, like. Oh, night birth. They have simulators where, for the most part, men can experience the pains of birth and cramping and all of that. There are a couple of men who have chronicled it. I know that there are some accounts on TikTok that have done it, and I believe that there are some on Twitter also, but they can. But yeah, I need y'all to stop. I need the jealousy to stop. If you're not getting what you want, I need y'all to do a few things. First of all, ask yourself, have you messed up, blocked your own blessings? Because did you tell the universe that the blessings that you are yearning after, the blessings that have you morphing into the green-eyed monster of jealousy, did you put out into the universe that that's not what you needed, that that's not what you wanted? Because that's the first stop. And if that's what you need to put out into the universe, hey, I'm sorry, I lied to you and myself. This is what I want. This is what I require. This is what I desire. Okay? Okay. 2, if you did not block your own blessing by saying that, are you blocking your blessing because you chose the wrong person? Did you choose this person because you were looking at their job title and you assumed that they had more income to do more things with you with, and you did not really look at their lifestyle and who they are? Or did you choose somebody that's not as adventurous as you? Was this person honest and you still just thought that you could change them? Newsflash, your person and you will evolve and change for the better together without having to push. You will want to get better. You will want to be a better version of yourself around this person, because iron sharpens iron. And you're not going to want to dull out as your person continues to sharpen. And you don't want somebody else sharpening them. And three. How are you reacting when your person is trying to give you what you need and what you desire? How are you reacting when your person is showing that you are their person? And what do I mean by that? When they are comfortable enough to share their excitement with you, are you shutting them down, which is causing them to shut down? Which means that they can't reciprocate what you want because they've now become self-conscious. And so self-conscious that that's all they can focus on, that they can no longer focus on growing the relationship, because you out here mad at the wrong people. And for the love of all things holy, stop checking up on your exes and comparing how they treated and or loved you with how they're treating their current partners or how they treated somebody before you. Let me explain something to y'all, and y'all might not be ready to accept it. So write down the minute marker, 32 minutes and 53 seconds right now. Everybody ain't gonna love everybody the same. And everybody is not in the same space of life for all relationships. Because what I could provide in a relationship 10 years ago is not the same what I can provide today. Who I was 10 years ago ain't the same person I am today. Hell, who I was 3, 4, 5 years ago ain't who I am today. I don't have the same things to offer. I also don't have the same connection with somebody before that I have now. So I need y'all to stop. You sitting there getting mad. Well, she didn't do that for me. He didn't do that for me. You weren't that person. You weren't that guy. You weren't that girl. And that is okay. That is okay. But why are you living in the past? Why are you checking to see what somebody you decided you were not compatible with was doing? Huh? What? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? And let us not forget that some of y'all really don't care about the mate. You're competing with the person. There are men out here competing with other men because you want their life, because you see how certain people are treating them, and there are women who want that life as well. Did y'all not learn anything from the Brene, Tim, Akira, and Devin case on TikTok that we talked about before? Why am I bringing this up? Because, child, when I say sometimes it ain't about the mate, it's about wanting somebody else's life, because you're spending too much time being jealous and envious that you don't have nothing to offer. Take a listen.
At this point, this is an episode of Fatal Attraction. And what if it was never about the man, but it was always about Akira? What if Brene wants to be Akira? Okay? Because Akira gave Brene the man, now she has Tim, and now Brene is in her new man's likes, Jordan's likes, and then she says, oh, well, Jordan used to flirt with me back in the day. Girl, you just want the attention, the love, and the respect that Akira gets from these people. It's never about the men. It's always about Akira. Y'all stay with me now. Stay with me because I'm preaching, okay? Because at the end of the day, y'all, we have seen Fatal Attractions, For My Man, Snapped episodes, all of these things where it's always a friend that comes around that may seem like your best friend, but they're actually envious of everything that you do and of the light that you possess and the way that people treat you. So it's never about the person. It's always about you. So y'all, what do y'all think about this? Is this episode of Fatal Attraction a Lifetime movie or what? Something? Or do y'all think Brene is just being friendly, liking Akira's new man's pictures just because? I don't know. Y'all leave it in the comments down below.
That woman has 1.75 million reasons to stop stalking somebody. And she still chooses to be stalkerific. Couldn't be me. Could not be me. And because we as humans, we tend to look at things like this and then we compartmentalize it into one aspect of life. I want y'all to take this lesson and apply it to multiple things. And I want you to start looking at it in multiple arenas, because it doesn't just happen in romantic situations. It happens with friendships. It happens in friend groups. It happens in the realm of business. And it happens a lot in social media. I've seen it where people have assumed that certain creators are like clicked up, where they might not be. You might see them pop into, some similar lives here and there because of subject matter. And then you see somebody or a group of somebodies try to creep in to replace this person, because in their mind, this one person is getting all this love and these accolades and a lot. And there are times that people think that somebody's position, they're just rolling in the dough. That ain't the case. But I need y'all to start applying these lessons to a lot of other things, because we can get very easily manipulated by these scenarios, because we look at, because a lot of times, for example, when people think of narcissism, you think of just in familial relationships and romantic relationships. You're not thinking parasocial. You're not thinking employment wise. You're negating, at your places of worship, if that's your thing. But yeah, take a gander. And I'm pretty sure as you look around, you'll start to notice there's some folks actively trying to single white female, some folks that you know. Now, this next one is a bit of a long one, and then we're going to have a chuckle after this because we deserve it. Did you know that there was a congressional hearing on public satire? I wish I was joking. I wish I was joking. And the reason why I held this to today is because any other day of the week, y'all would have been like, is she serious? Is she for real? It's 3 minutes. It's 3 minutes. Just listen. Just listen.
So you think you have jurisdiction over political satire under the public interest standard and the news distortion standard, just to put a fine point on it?
My position is
just about that one is a yes or no. Do you have jurisdiction or not?
We have jurisdiction with respect to the broadcast airwaves uniquely to ensure that their operations are in the public interest. And there's very specific rules there, broadcast hoax and news distortion.
So if there's a determination by the Federal Communications Commission that satire is not in the public interest, you believe you have the authority to revoke the license of the broadcaster.
That's not my position at all.
But I'm asking you, do you think it is appropriate for you to have an opinion at all in your official capacity about what a comedian says, as offensive as it may have been?
Senator, my job is to implement the law passed by Congress. And Congress has said that broadcast is fundamentally different, that there's a public interest standard.
Do you think there are
decades of precedent on this?
Do you think there are any conservative commentators or conservative comedians or conservative satirists that ever say anything offensive that you would consider investigating?
I'm not looking at things that are offensive or awful, to use your words. I'm looking at things that are consistent with our public interest rules and regulations. That's the full scope.
And in what way? So I'm a little confused because it seems to me that in subsequent conversations, I forgot after Ted and John Thune and Dave McCormick and others said, "Oh, this seems like a little much for you, Chairman," that you went out and you said, "That was fake news. I didn't do that. This is fake news. I am not doing that. I'm not going after Jimmy Kimmel." And now you're saying you have a perfect right to go after Jimmy Kimmel, and I'm wondering which one it is.
No, two different things. Democrats at the time were saying that we explicitly threatened to pull a license if Jimmy Kimmel wasn't fired. That never happened. That was nothing more than projection and distortion by Democrats. What I am saying is any broadcaster that uses the airwaves, whether radio or TV, has to comply with the public interest in it. And licenses are not sacred cows. Yes, you can do things to lose a license.
I mean, you're kind of tiptoeing through the tulips here, right? Because what you actually said is they have a license granted by us at the FCC that comes with an obligation to operate in the public interest. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct and take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead. It will not age well, and it will not age well on the conservative side of the aisle and the liberal side of the aisle. This is not American FCC behavior, and I'm hoping we can recalibrate.
It's all freedom of speech. If it's speech that I like. You know, that's... But, this next one, this is what we're going to close out with, okay? Yes, they're in England. Okay? I'm gonna say this Yes, yes, they're in England. Okay, they. But I'm going to warn you. Oh, and April, here you go. I'm gonna. This is. It's funny. Okay, just take a listen, and then we're gonna go through the comment section because we need a laugh. Okay, we're trapped on this rock with Air Trump, Zephyr Trump. Just listen, okay? And if there are innocent ears near you, it's a time to send them off to Miss Rachel or whatever they watch nowadays, okay? In 5, 4, 3, 2. I warned you.
I'd liked the BBC all of my life. I grew up in a household largely without books, and it was BBC Radio 4 that is probably part of the reason that I achieved academically in life and succeeded. So my love and affection for the BBC is deep. My anger now is that the people who have, from my point of view, stolen the BBC and then besmirched it and reduced it to something petty, small, venal, and trashy. The BBC would never have done this. The BBC that my grandma would have fought and died for, you know, they would never have behaved this way. And the idea that we automatically defend institutions is simply wrong. You often get this in conservative circles. But if you're born a conservative inside the USSR, you don't protect the regime. You just don't, you know, and they have stolen, politically, they have stolen the BBC. We watched it sort of slow boil happening. And this is what the result of it. This is what they create, this petty, venal little thing. Well, it's an embarrassment to the nation. And I either want the BBC back under impartial control or it gone. But it cannot go on the way it's going on. It just can't.
I'm childish. I know I am, but you are too. You are too, because I know what went through your head. And I know we're not the only ones whose head that it went through like that. Because coming from the comment section, I've liked BBC my whole life. My grandma would have fought and died for the BBC. My love and affection for the BBC. Lifelong dedication to BBC. I see. My love and affection for the BBC is deep. Reduce the BBC to something petty and small. The BBC my grandma would have died for. You know what BBC stands for, right? He keeps saying it. The BBC that my grandma would have stayed and fought for. They've stolen the BBC. I was so loud though. Holy crap. Someone then went on to say, this is the worst generation to say this to. This is the worst collection of generations. My love and affection for the BBC. Some of y'all love the BBC so much, y'all made it y'all whole online persona. Sir, dear sir, are we still talking about the news, perhaps? I love BBC. My whole family loves BBC. They have stolen the BBC. Hey, Jess. The BBC, my grandmother would have died for. I love BBC too, but what is BBC Radio? Yeah, your love is very deep. Opening statement had me confused. The 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 the, the BBC. He knows what he's doing. And then, with a picture of Pennywise, with a smile on his face and his eyes closed, they have stolen the BBC. Oh, grocery shopping was a nightmare. You're a bit perplexed. Oh, let me fix that for you, darling. Let's run this back again. One more time for the hot mess. That is Jess. I'm getting too much enjoyment out of this.
I'd liked the BBC all of my life. I grew up in a household largely without books, and it was BBC Radio 4 that is probably part of the reason that I achieved academically in life and succeeded. So my love and affection for the BBC is deep. My anger now is at the people who have, from my point of view, stolen the BBC and then besmirched it and reduced it to something petty, small, venal, and trashy. The BBC would never have done this. The BBC that my grandma would have fought and died for, you know, they would never have behaved this way. And the idea that we automatically defend institutions is simply wrong. You often get this in conservative circles, but if you're born a conservative,
What BBC are we talking about? Poles living and dying for the BBC. The BBC would never have done this.
BBC. Speaking about BBC, hey, I heard my name.
I liked BBC my whole life, but they stole the BBC and reduced it to something petty and childish.
Someone stole my BBC.
You love what now?
Hey, y'all. Studio audience popping in to say hello, and he's got to go to work, so got to make the donuts.
Now tell the people why. Tell the people why I have this video.
Oh, because I sent her a comment from the video. It's hilarious. I even commented on it twice myself. It starts off with dude saying how much he loved BBC, not the BBC, but BBC. Which would have made this video a completely different video had he added that small 3-letter word. But he didn't. So now the entire comment section is full of,
I'm a grown man trying my best not to lie. The radio, right.
My grandmother would have
fought and died for.
She'd have stayed, fought and died for. Your grandmama probably owned a couple of black, you know what I'm saying.
And the person in this video, that's Boris Johnson's brother.
See, she's had that thing on less than a week to harness, and she's already trying to eat it up.
That's your heifer.
No, that's your heifer.
That's your heifer.
My heifer's gonna be dead.
That's your heifer.
Mm-hmm. You might have to save her.
I'm not saving her. She ate my glove. And then she tried to fight me over a candy cane. She's messing up my aesthetic for my tree.
The tree, y'all.
Oh, no. And that concludes today's show. Thank you for joining me for the Taz Effect.
Keep reading your BBC comments.
No, we're at the end of the show for real.
My grandmother loves the BBC.
Okay. End the show since you're here. Tell the people bye.
Bye, people.
What is your ending? What
do you mean?
What do you say every morning?
Oh, I'm from around the way. You ain't leaving here with all them jewels and shit. Just if you came in intentions of disrupting some shit, you will leave out without all them jewels. That's all I'm saying.
As always, thank y'all for joining. We will be back on the Tiki Talk hopefully on Monday. Our timeout is over tomorrow afternoon.
Bye.
And I guess enjoy the weekend and the BBC that your grandma would have stayed, fought for, and died for.
My grandmother would have stayed, fought, and died for BBC.
Especially if you put the BBC in her shepherd's pie.
Wow.